We've done 2 budget videos from Düsseldorf so far. What can you get for 100,000 euros? What can you get for €500,000? Now we're into the big stuff. Well, big-ish. What can you get for €1,000,000? We're in Hall 6, the Super Yacht Hall. I'll be honest, we're not going to get much in here, but we're going to go around the halls and show you a wide variety of the sort of stuff you can get at Düsseldorf for €1,000,000. Let's go. I'm Jack Haines. Welcome to YachtBuyer. For a whisker over our €1,000,000 budget, you can have this, the Ray SLX 400 with all the bells and whistles, including twin 430 horsepower, 8-litre V8 petrol engines. It'll do late 40s, no problem, cruise at 25 to 35 knots. And then when you get there, would you look at all the space you've got to enjoy on deck. This is a true party platform. The Americans really know how to build boats like this, and there's a lot of functionality on deck here. We've got the drop-down balcony here on the starboard side. We have this backrest which pivots, so you can put it around that way. If you want to enjoy the balcony, you can recline with your back against that, looking out over the side of the boat. Huge beam on this thing. Look at all the floor space. It's so easy to move around. Nice, comfortable seating down the port side. Big teak table that opens up for when you're dining, and that's obviously opposite the wet bar. This particular boat hasn't got the grill option, but of course you could have that if you wanted. Sink, option for a wine fridge, and there's a fridge down here as well. Nice little seat there to take yourself away facing the dining table. And this has a little trick up its sleeve in that it pivots round. So that turns round and then again creates this seat that's all part of the action. Flip it round, it's got a bolster, and you've got 2 more seats facing forward for when you're travelling along. Into the helm, a couple of really nice, comfortable helm seats. All digital switching here, so I can control everything on board from through the MFD here. Obviously, you've got another one here for navigation, radar, if you've got that sort of stuff. Twin engines, so twin throttles, and also joystick maneuverability with the skyhook system and all that lovely stuff that Mercury are so good at. But there is more deck space to enjoy up front. Single level deck here, there are no steps to negotiate at all. You just walk through the windscreen, there's a door here that cuts this off, and then you have another great living space all the way up here where you've got the nice reclined seating there. There's a table that stows down here, a really nice table as well actually, so you can bring that out from under the deck, put that here, and you've got another nice seating area here. Cup holders over here, and actually this section pops up to show you your anchor locker, but there is yet more down below. The priority is quite obviously day boating on this boat, but they haven't neglected the interior. There is over 6 foot of headroom if you stand up in here. This converts down into a double berth. Obviously the table opens out, drops down, cushion in the middle, and you've got a double bed here. There's another big double berth underneath the cockpit. It's just got a curtain for privacy, but the space is good enough. And you've got another fridge down here, a microwave, and crucially, a separate bathroom. If you're after a flybridge for your €1,000,000 budget, well, the Swift Trawler 48 from Beneteau could foot the bill. It's just over to show spec, but this has got a high spec and it does include VAT. It can run on either twin 380 or 425 horsepower Cummins diesels, and as an option you can have a joystick both at the helms and down here as a third docking station. Huge amount of usable space on this boat. They're designed for long distance cruising, living aboard, and the space is really impressive. As you can see from this very open cockpit, those steps over there slide up against the door to give you even more cockpit space, and then we have the familiar trawler aft galley layout, domestic fridge and freezer over on the port side there. Really nice amount of countertop on this boat as well, and lots of storage all over the place. Forward, there's no step through the saloon, which is very nice. You have this big dinette here on the port side. This table folds out if you want it to. This also drops down to convert it into another double berth. If you want to sleep here, you can see there's a curtain with a rail, so you've got a little bit of privacy. And then we come to one of the best bits of the trawler, which is the lower helm. It's so well designed, it's simple, it's functional, but it's very comfortable for longer distances. And the big side door makes such a difference. Not just a side door, but a side gate. It's got asymmetric deck, so this starboard deck is really big. If there's 2 of you or even 1 of you, it's a very easy boat to handle, especially with the joystick. Heading downstairs, we have a 3 cabin arrangement on this model. To port, there's a twin cabin here. This has ensuite access to the day head. There's a door to that through here. There's a double cabin through there. And then right forward, you have the owner's cabin. Really nice big double cabin here. And this one has its own private bathroom. Let's head upstairs. This being the only flybridge boat in our selection, we should probably have a look at the top deck and the benefits. And the good thing about the Swift Trawler range is they all have this nice extension here on the flybridge. You get a huge amount of open space back here with which you can do whatever you like. The hardtop is an option. You can have a sunroof inside that as well. Wet bar back here. You can option a grill if you'd prefer. Obviously you've got the sink, space for a fridge down here as well. And then amidships, this nice seating area. It's nice how it spreads across the entire beam. This table opens up as well, so you can utilize these seats when you're eating if you want to. And then on both ends here, we've got 2-way backrests. So if you're in dining mode, you can have it like that. If you're driving, you can have them like that, and you have 3 more seats facing forward next to the central helm seat. Quite a simple helm design, but centrally located with a great view over that foredeck. If you want something that you can use all year round, whatever the weather, for your budget, for 750,000 euros to show spec, including VAT, you can have this, the Nordstar 42 Plus. This particular one is running twin Volvo Penta D6 440s on stern drives, but you can have it with IPS if you prefer. And this is a proper all-weather brute, but there are some differences on the inside to its rivals from the likes of Targa and Sargo. Back here, typical well-protected cockpit, nice big overhang, dinette here, equal access up both sides from the bathing platform, nice amount of storage back here as well, both in the sides and in the floor, very good engine access too through these hatches in the deck. Symmetrical decks, so it's very easy to move around the boat, and you've got this aft door as well, so you can access the saloon from the sides, but also walk straight through this lovely big door here into the saloon, where it's quite a familiar layout compared to its rivals, but it's very nicely executed. Starting with this amidships cabin here, access via a stairwell. It's got its own bathroom, but it's full beam. There are hull windows down there as well, so it's spacious. It's got a nice big bed. It just feels a bit more contemporary, certainly than Targa, quite similar to Sargo, but you have that slightly more modern finish. We've got the satin walnut, you've got the nice Corian countertop, galley here on the starboard side is a decent size as well. Glass sunroof overhead, so you can ventilate, get some natural light coming in, and I mentioned the side doors. Having those on both sides with boarding gates makes this a very easy boat to handle on your own, especially when you add in the joystick option. Top speed with these engines, I would imagine late 30 knots, and you could cruise at 30 knots for, I reckon, 300 nautical miles, something like that. They're designed to go long distances comfortably, efficiently, and quickly. Stepping forward down onto the lower deck again, we have another double cabin. This would be classed as the owner's cabin, I would imagine. Again, finished in that beautiful satin walnut, nice big bed, not a huge amount of space at the end of the bed, but the bed itself is fine, headroom decent, and some nice detailing. Again, lovely woodwork, lighting running forward here, nice subtle underlighting, hull windows on both sides, plus the skylight, so again, natural light, not too bad. And this has got a clever arrangement when it comes to the bathroom as well, because you've got a split toilet and shower room, so 2 people can use those at the same time. If you want more detail about this boat, we have actually sea trialed it, and if it's not already on the channel, it will be very soon, so subscribe now so you don't miss that. If you want something really quite different for your €1,000,000, this 4 Winds TH36, a multi-hull, provides just that. It's around 760,000 euros to show spec, including VAT, and if you want the ultimate deck boat, well, look no further. Just look at the space you got on this thing. It's just shy of 40 feet long, but it's 14.5 feet wide, and you feel every inch of that when you step into that cockpit. It's got a pair of 350 horsepower Mercury Verados for a top speed of 48 knots, but come on board because there's a lot of functionality here in this cockpit. The first thing is you have these separate seating areas, but they're mounted on runners, so you can slide them both together really quite easily. They join in the middle, and then you have a joined dining area with 2 tables, so you can sit plenty of people around to have lunch, and you can serve them from this wet bar here. It's an American boat. They take their Wet bars very, very seriously. It may be owned by Beneteau Group 4 Winds, but still very much an American mentality. So nice big sink, cooking over here, big fridge down here, another fridge there, nice surface there to be able to prep drinks and food. And just look at the space I've got in the middle of the boat, and you still get side decks. Despite this width, because it has got that beam, you've still got good side decks on either side. Great protection overhead from this hardtop, and you can fully enclose this area as well. There are covers that connect to the windscreen, down the sides here and at the back, so you can use it in all weather. Helm station's over here. Obviously it's running Mercury, so you've got joystick control. Because those outboards are set quite far away from each other, it should have a really good pivot point as well. So slow speed control, despite the beam, should be pretty good. A couple of MFDs, usual stuff, with all of your information contained in there. Now, before we head right forward, here's a bit of a surprise. It's got two really good cabins. I'll just drop down into this one to give you a sense of the scale. They're identical, and because you've got two hulls, well, why not make the use of them? So we've got a nice separate bathroom here with a shower cubicle. Down there you've got a double berth, very easy to get into. Hull window in here as well, so natural light's okay. This nice big hatch to get in and out, and you have exactly the same on the other side. So sleeping 4 people on board, for adults I should say, really shouldn't be an issue. And what I love is it's completely flat all the way through. From bow to stern, there is nothing to trip over. And then up here you walk through the windscreen and you're back to another fabulous socialising area. It's a very novel piece of design. How about a high-performance Scandinavian sports cruiser? This is the Windy 40 Camira RS. It's the smallest boat that Windy are building in Sweden. The smaller ones are built in Poland, and this is a proper cruising machine. You can have it with twin stern drives or twin outboards. Actually, you can have it with triple outboards if you really want. Top speed with all the engine options is about 45 knots. But the point with a Windy is you can do that high-speed cruising through pretty much anything. What about the layout? Well, there's a little tender garage / C-Bob garage under there. The typical Windy sliding backrest, so this entire section slides on runners, and you can push it down the bed to make a bench if you prefer, or you can make a dinette, or you can pull it this way and look out that way. The table, gorgeous table by the way, wood with carbon fibre detailing. Obviously that opens up if you want to dine. It also raises up and down at the touch of a button. And talking of touching buttons, you have full control of this boat from the Windy app. So you can do the normal things like looking at lights and stuff, but you can also control things like the roof remotely from your iPad, and it's not a mirror of the screen up there, it's totally separate. So you can move around the boat, connect to the network, control things from downstairs, open things up again. You can even control things like the footrest and the throttle pedestal, which we'll look at when we get to the helm, but that's a really cool piece of functionality. Underneath here you have the wet bar. Quite clever that they've made this into a perch, because lots of people would sit on there anyway. They put a cushion on it now. Under here you have induction hob, sink and some cooling space underneath. The driving experience is such a key part of what Windy is about. So we have this great navigator seat here, tucked down low underneath the windscreen, good handhold and a footrest, but this really is the place to be when you want to drive this thing. Bolster seat, and I mentioned about the adjustable footrest, so you can do all that through here. So there's a footrest that pops out down underneath my feet, so you can pull that all the way out, and then once it connects to the base you can stand. So if you're doing slow speed manoeuvring, you can actually poke your head up and over the windscreen if you're tall enough. A little pier over there, but it's quite nice that you don't always have to sit down to drive. And what I love about Windies is they give you the adjustable throttle base. So this will go up, so if you are standing, the throttle and the joystick come up to meet you. But if you sit down, in fact if you sit right down, oh, that's such a good position, you can put the throttle arm down, and then you really are plugged in to drive this thing at, as I said, 45 knot top speed. What else you got? Well, you've got the walk-through windscreen. We're used to seeing that on Windy, but it works very, very well on this model. There's no side decks, that's why you can have such a wide cockpit. If we head downstairs, the interior is by Designer Limited, super yacht interior designers, and you can feel the quality, you can feel the style. It really is nice and modern down here, and everything feels nice and solid. There's a good satisfying clunk when you shut the doors. Convertible berth forward here, that's an electric table. It drops down with an infill to make a berth. There's an optional third single cabin down here, or you can have an extended galley. One thing I admire about this boat and Windy as a brand is the practical thinking. It's not just about performance and style. These are clever boats designed to be used, and this is a great example of that. There's metal inlaid to this panel here. You've got magnets on the base of the glassware and the crockery, so when you put them down, they attach solidly to the surface inside the cupboard. Brilliant. And through this door here, you have another double cabin that runs underneath the cockpit. It's a high performance machine, but actually one that you can live on relatively comfortably. For this budget, you can get one of the new stars of Düsseldorf Boat Show, the brand new Fairline Targa 40. Now, I toured this at the show, and if you want to see the in-depth tour, I'll put a link to that in the description below. But what do you get for that money? Well, you get a lot of innovation and a lot in a 40-foot shell. Twin stern drives, 2 cabins, 2 bathrooms, a big sunroof, and a very clever cockpit with folding backrests, sliding bits and bobs, a big wet bar, and of course, a balcony on the starboard side. It's even got a tender garage big enough for a 2.7 metre tender. There's a lot going on here. It's a really impressive package. Thanks very much for watching that video. There's a taste of what you could get for €1 million. It's not everything, but we've tried to get a nice broad spread. Let me know in the comments below which of those boats you choose. It was your money, and we've done this with a few other budgets, 100,000 and €500,000. So I'll put those there if you want to watch them. If you enjoyed this and like to subscribe, that would be great. Please do. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.